Hello and welcome to Snore and Roar, a Pokemon podcast. I said I wasn't going to do it epically, but I did anyway. Fun times. Welcome to episode 2. It's been a hot minute because of scheduling problems and various other things, but we are back and we got a plethora of news to talk about, and that's going to be this entire show is news because there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of news. Slow news, fast news. I forgot the train commercial. I'm sorry.
I don't know what you're referencing. So
Lots and lots of trains.
Wasn't it like a VHS tape or something like that?
Yeah, it was.
I vaguely remember it.
Yes, it was. Probably aired back to back with the Zoo Books commercial. But
I remember Zoo Books. I had a whole mess of Zoo Books growing up.
I think I had duplicates of the Zoo Books because like they reprinted them. And I bought Zoo Books when I went to the zoo.
I think I got most of mine like secondhand from the library or something.
That's understandable.
Yeah,
I respect that.
Enough about real world.
Enough about Zoo Books, enough about Pokemon books. All right. Is there? So this is a common thing for me to do in all the podcasts that I create and run and be on. Have you gotten anything recently involving the world of Pokemon that you would like to share with the world?
Yeah, actually, I think it was like about a week and a half ago. I picked up the new $19.99 price point Mega Constructs. I got the Mew, and I was like legit surprised how noticeably above and beyond most of the Mega Construct stuff it was. And I sent you pictures. Like, it's about, with the stand, about the height of like a water bottle.
Yeah, no, I was surprised. I figured they would be sizable given the box and piece count. But when you show me the pictures, I was really surprised. As soon as they make somebody that I really, really want, I'm definitely going to get it. Because their selection right now is fairly small, which is understandable. And there really isn't any characters that are grabbing my attention. Like, I like Charmander, but the Charmander one's really creepy.
Yeah, no, with its weird, like, puppet demon mouth with, like, the little funnel sticking out for the flames.
I don't like it at all. But no, if I did get one, it would be Mew, but...
Some of the Mega Constructs, like, they suffer from serious, like, issues of if their face is, like, way too many bricks.
Yeah.
Like, the Mewtwo, and especially that giant Pikachu, just creeps me out.
No, I agree.
Yeah, no, it's amazing how significantly better it is when you don't have to include a whole bunch of trees.
Yeah.
For set dressing with a set. Because, like, the Scyther is the same price. But it's, like, Mew is so, like, far and beyond in terms of, like, build and everything. Like,
Yeah, just because they don't have to worry about all this other additional nonsense that usually comes in these kits.
I do love, with Meowth, how to make sure you knew it was Team Rocket's Meowth, it has the little talk bubble that says Hiya.
Perfect. Just so you know.
Did you get anything Pokemon related recently?
I'm trying to think of what I did or did not have at the time of our last recording. That like big round, like wobbly moving Snorlax that I got on HLJ a while back. That did show up finally.
Yeah.
Because I finally shipped. I need to see if it's just the batteries I'm using. But he sounds really weird. And it's not just like because he's saying Cabigon instead of Snorlax, but it sounds muffled. I don't know if it's the batteries that I used or because I harvested them out of a Toku toy.
I mean, knowing you have like weird sporadic luck with just getting botched soundboards on stuff.
I mean, that is fair. That is something that happens quite often. But no, he's squishy and weird, and I kind of love him. He's derp, and then he's great. Other than that, I don't think so. I don't think I've bought cards since then, because I think the last cards that I bought were before we recorded, and I just never mentioned it last show. So I think that's it. Maybe? Maybe not. I'm going to say them anyway. I did get Gigantamax Snorlax card sleeves and deck box. I don't remember when this fell compared to last episode, but I know I never mentioned it and I just want to because they're great and I love them.
Oh no, they look insanely good.
Like the border's pink, which is a really weird choice, and I kind of here for it.
Yeah.
I think it's just because it's like the Dynamax, Gigantamax, like aura, maybe? That's my reasoning for it, I guess. But I love them. I built Snorlax VMAX deck, first deck for Sword and Shield, and so when I saw that they released these, I'm like, I have to get them. And of course, they're like Pokemon Center ones. Like each set and like sometimes in between sets, they always release like pairs of deck boxes and sleeves. Occasionally, one themed around the set will go up for normal retail. You can get them at Ami Ami and HLJ and stuff like that. But there'll be some that are exclusive to Pokemon Center stores, which is fine if you're in Japan. You just go to a Pokemon Center store, you go to their online store, and you order them. It's great. It's fine. But we don't bring them over here most of the time. And it's hard for us to get the Pokemon Center exclusive stuff without like middleman stores. And so usually if they're exclusive to Pokemon Center, I usually just ignore them because of price. But I can't ignore my Snorlax.
Yeah, no.
It's
mascot.
So I paid a little bit more than I would like to for a deck box and sleeves, but I had to get them. So,
I mean, to be fair though, you'll probably end up using those for like the foreseeable future.
Oh yeah, I don't know how long I'll use the sleeves. The deck box I'll use forever. I'll use that deck box until it breaks. Which I've only had one deck box ever break on me, so there's that. But the sleeves is just a personal preference because I'm used to like Dragon Shield mats, and those all have textured backs, and they shuffle a lot easier than the gloss back card sleeves. And all of the Pokemon ones are always gloss back card sleeves, and so it's really weird for me right now to shuffle with those because they shuffle a lot worse.
Yeah.
So I might end up, if by some miracle the North American International Championships don't get canceled, we'll talk about that later, then I'll probably switch them to Dragon Shields maybe when I go there. But for now, I'm just using them because they're great and I love them. So
yeah.
that's my Snorlax discussion. Thank you.
So, moving on to the bulk of what this episode's going to be. A whole lot of stuff has been going on Pokemon news-wise.
Yeah, some good, some bad, some crazy.
Some that's kind of just a mix of it all.
Yeah.
So the first thing, which we were discussing, I think, the day before it happened, was Pokemon Day happened. There was a whole bunch of stuff going on. There was like a crazy, like, supercharged Mewtwo max raid that gave like absurd amounts of rewards. Was there anything major for Go for Pokemon Day?
Yeah, there was Pokemon Day. I wanted to say was the party hat stuff. Yeah, there was a couple clone related things because the Mewtwo movie had come out. So like you could do, I think, clone Blastoise, Venusaur, and Charizard in raids, and then you could hatch party hat Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, and catch party hat Pikachu. In Go, and then there was bonuses of some sort of like catch bonuses and candy bonuses and all that stuff. So I mean, it wasn't anything extraordinary, but it was something nonetheless.
And then the biggest, and in my opinion, the best news to come out of Pokemon Day, the look at our first mythical, Zarude, who was not a tiny little thing with giant legs like we all initially thought.
What a crazy boy.
Is just an amazing grass dark demon monkey who I love. On top of being dark type, I just love the fact of how anti first mythical he is.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like we always get those cute mythicals.
Meanwhile, demon monkey comes swinging in on a vine to mess your day up.
He's not a cute mythical. He's an awesome mythical, but he's not a cute mythical. I feel like he's Grookey's like estranged mythical cousin. Because they're both grass monkeys?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that means that Pansage is related to him too. That's bad.
I mean, regardless of Zarude, that still kind of would stand either way. Zarude's just kind of the middle point. But along with the reveal of him, we got our first look at the Pokemon Coco movie, which looks beautiful like all these new Pikachu Project movies do.
Yeah.
Team Rocket might have a Cramorant, and I'm here for it.
I hope so. I really do.
Zarude will be coming out with his hot new summer fashion.
Yep. Black is back.
Yeah. A little pinkish purple scarf cloak thingy. And along with that, they announced for people who purchase their tickets in Japan, it'll include serial codes for Zarude as well as Shiny Celebi, who's going to be featured in the movie. Zarude will have leftovers for his held item, his abilities Leaf Guard, and will have the moves Close Combat, Power Whip, Wagger, and Snarl. And then the Celebi will have Natural Cure and Lucky Egg, and will have Magical Leaf, Future Sight, Life Dew, and Heal Ball. Or Heal Bell. I know words.
Do you though? Sometimes.
But yeah, no, like I'm so ready for Zarude. Like he is up there now as one of my favorite mythicals. And then in Pokemon Go news of recent, with the world kind of being as chaotic as it is right now, Pokemon Go issued out some updates to make it a lot easier for people to not have to be out there in the world and all that, but still be able to enjoy the game.
Everything is canceled, and here's some free stuff.
Yeah, because like they're making it where now you don't have to actually walk around places to do battle leagues. You can do that all from home.
And I want to stress the fact, first of all, that the walking requirement for Battle League is really dumb. Like as someone who works a full-time job, like usually when I'm done, I come home and do nothing, or I do the work I need to get done at my house. And like, so I don't have time to always, I mean, granted, it's either 2K or 5K you have to walk to get your, like, 5 battles back up. And like, sometimes I hit that in a day, sometimes I don't. And so like, it's really nice right now to just like, oh, I want to do some battles, and you just pop into Battle League and do some battles. It's great. But when the requirement gets back in there, it's like, will I want to do Battle League? No, probably not.
And now, like, Pokemon will pop up that you can capture. You don't necessarily have to be, near that place to capture them. A lot of the microtransaction stuff, I believe, aren't they down to, like, super dirt cheap prices right now?
The prices didn't change, but they are... First, they did actually something that was really cool. I was proud of them for this. They put a pack of 30 incense for 1 coin.
Oh, wow.
In the store. And normally incense honestly aren't that great. Basically, you pop an incense and a Pokemon randomly spawns every 5 minutes or so. It works a little faster when you're walking. But if you're just like sitting in one place with an incense on, you usually get one about every 5 minutes. And it lasts a half hour. So you get about 6 to 8 spawns, depending on how often they pop up. For the duration of this like national lockdown, when you pop an incense, it lasts for an hour, and they'll spawn a new Pokemon about every minute instead of every 5 minutes. And so I've been doing that the past couple days. Was the Genesect thing on your list?
Yeah, that was, I think that was like about to roll out right as all this started, so they adjusted it accordingly.
Yeah, because there was supposed to be an Abra Community Day on my birthday, actually.
Yeah, as well as the Safari Zone event as well.
Yeah, there was a Safari Zone event that got canceled. On the Abra Community Day, there's supposed to be a special Zoroark event. That got canceled. The Abra Community Day got canceled. And then the following weekend was supposed to be this Genesect thing. And the problem with this is that there's always requirements that you have to do in order to get through this. Now, this was a paid one. They did one for Regigigas a while back. But this one was for Genesect. Now, if you didn't want to pay, Genesect will be in EX raids for probably the next 3 to 4 months. Probably after the fact, if you are capable of getting like EX raid passes and stuff. Right now, you're not. They canceled all EX raids too. But so it will pop up. It's kind of behind a paywall, but kind of not behind a paywall if you don't mind just waiting. And so there's this big long event with like 5 steps to do, and at the end of the 4th step, you got Genesect. I did it. It was great. But they had to modify everything to make it doable for people that couldn't go places, which was pretty much almost everyone in the nation by the time this rolled around. And so the steps were all switched to things like catch 25 normal types, 25 fire types, water types, electric types, and the last one was ice types.
Oh, damn.
And so during that weekend, all Pokemon of those types were spawning a lot more rapidly if you bought into the event. If you didn't, the spawns were normal. But if you did, so like all those types were spawning frequently. And so by the weekend was done, I got the Genesect and everything was fine. But I mean, I have to give some props to them for managing to switch the event to something that was so easily doable right from your house. Now,
Yeah.
I did go out and drive around a bit to catch some things. I didn't do it strictly from my house, but if you kept popping incense and paying attention, it was easily doable from your house too. And with the 30 incense for 1 Pokecoin and lasting an hour and spawning more frequently, everything just kind of was wrapped up in a nice convenient package that made it really easy to do. And so I have to give them props for that. And now they're doing like this 1 coin bundle. I think it's changing every week now. And so like right now you can get 100 Pokeballs for 1 coin. And then like next week they'll do something else. And so I think that's really cool that they're kind of this game that's all about like venturing out and being social and doing all these things. They're tweaking it in ways that very much help not only the rural players that don't get to do a whole lot as often, but it's helping all those people that are stuck inside and have to social distance and all that stuff. So they're doing a great job. I gotta hand it to them.
Yeah. Which, on the note of like all this stuff going on, like we hope you guys are all staying as safe as you can. I know some cases like mine, like my job has me requiring me to be like out there, but just everyone be careful, keep yourself clean, just do your best to be safe because we care about you.
Pikachu says wash your hands.
Yes.
And I have no idea if it is on your list or not, but one thing that Pokemon Go is finally doing, after me wanting this for probably over a year now, is they're finally including like this overview tab. So that will show you all of the bonuses that are going on and all the events that are going on. So it'll tell you like these are spawning more frequently, and then there's 2 times catch XP and stuff like that. And also it'll show you your like Pokestop or catching streaks. Because the problem with those is I could always kind of keep track of it mentally, but occasionally I'll forget if I caught something that day, or I'll forget if I spun a Pokestop that day. And so I'm like, oh, did I do it or did I not do it? And there's no way of knowing. And so you just have to like go back out and do it to see or hope for the best. And so they're including that in that tab too. And there's a couple other things I think that are also going to be in that tab. So they're finally giving us an overview tab.
How is that just now a thing?
I don't know.
Like,
for all the good things this game does, it also does a lot of really stupid things that take way too long to actually implement.
Because we're on freaking like Gen 5 with it now. You'd think that would have been something at the latest, like Gen 3, that would have been like a thing sorted out.
Yeah, you would think. I don't know. I don't know why, but
oh, apparently not.
Yeah, no, it's finally here though.
So is there any other Pokemon Go news at all that I'm missing?
This was just announced today. I think there is This weekend there is a psychic type event happening. They do these a lot. But Shiny Ball Toy is coming to the game, and Gothita, Gothitelle, all thems are coming to the game too for the first time. So those will be out this weekend, spawning a little bit more frequently until March 30th. So you have until then. Psychic types and raids, psychic type field research, hatching from 2K eggs. It's nothing extravagant, but Gothitelle will be in the game now. So
Okay.
Mito Supremo.
So then our next bit of news to go over is we actually ended up doing pretty well in the fact of some decent sized news happened today. So we don't have to go back and talk about it next episode. We can talk about it here because kind of out of nowhere, Nintendo put out a mini direct just to kind of catch everybody up on
I
a few
like how
things.
their direct mini was still a half hour long.
Yeah. I mean, that's Nintendo, though. Well, there was tons of great stuff shown all around. One of the big highlights was we got some more details on the Isle of Armor DLC. First thing they gave us was some more looks at the Gmax forms for the starters, which your starter will be able to Gigantamax as a reward for completing the Isle of Armor. And then they showed off their Gmax moves as well as the names of them and what they do. So all the moves across the board will ignore the opponent's ability. Rillaboom has Gmax Drum Solo. Cinderace has Gmax Fireball. And Inteleon has Gmax Hydro Snipe. And I love all the Gigantamax forms for these guys. They're all so good.
I missed the first time around that Inteleon was on his tail.
Yeah, and his tail
I thought it was a big water sphere, sphere? No, that's incorrect. Spire, I guess is what I was going for. Tower. I thought it was a big water tower. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. And then we got clearer pictures of him today and stuff, and it's his tail just straight up. I'm like, oh, you're dope.
And the thing I love is when you consider proportionately the fact that they're saying he's 131 feet tall, 99% of that is his tail. He's maybe probably a foot or two taller body wise.
Yeah, he's still almost normal size. His tail just got incredibly long.
So there was that, which was awesome. And then we got some new details about the Kubfu that will be joining us in the game on the Isle of Armor in your training. You will get the choice of 2 different towers where you and only Kubfu will go in to train. And it is the Darkness Tower and the Water Tower, which will determine whether or not it evolves into Single Strike or Rapid Strike. Still don't know which one I'm going for first.
Same. I kind of want to go for the water one because fighting dark is just something that exists frequently already, and fighting in water is Poliwrath.
Yeah, I think it's just Poliwrath, really.
I feel like there's another one I'm probably forgetting. I keep wanting to say Octolock, that's not right.
Yeah, no, it's in that vein of this is very clearly a water type, but no, it's just pure fighting, even though it lives in the water, swims, and is an octopus. Keldeo.
Oh yeah, I always forget Keldeo's fighting type.
Yeah.
I don't think Keldeo's ever had a fighting type card, and I think that's what gets me. Is because I'm so engrossed in the TCG that I just mentally connect things with colors. And Keldeo, I think, has always been blue, and I'm like, oh, he's a water type.
I mean, to be fair, the Swords of Justice, the fighting type's not really ever the focus of them. Outside of true. Sacred Sword and Secret Sword.
Yeah. Except for Terrakion, because he's ground type, so he's represented by fighting in the TCG. So
yeah.
So I'm probably gonna go water for him just because he's a little bit more unique that way.
Yeah, I mean, granted, like we have both of us have both games, so either way, we're gonna get both of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I think I am leaning towards Rapid Strike, just because as much as I love Dark types to death, just something about like the stance and the kind of vibe of Rapid Strike just kind of I dig a lot more.
I can respect.
So with that, I think all we have left is any TCG news. So if you want to take it away.
Oh, I will take it away because there's a lot of it. All right, so I am kind of just scrolling through Pokebeach's news. So I'm just kind of going through this in the order in which it came out. So yeah, there's been a lot of new like boxes and stuff that have decided to get teased. The first of which is a trainer's toolkit product. And so we knew about this for a while, but we didn't know what it was. And so a description finally came out, and it is going to include 50 cards, including 2 promo cards, 4 booster packs of Rebel Clash, because it's coming out in June 26th, so it's a while away still. 4 booster packs Rebel Clash, 65 card sleeves of some design or another, 6 damage counters, which should be those new numbered damage counters instead of actually just being like 1 through 6 dice, which I love, because we're at the point in the TCG where like we're at 340 HP on some Pokemon that are VMAXs. And when you're putting like damage counters that are just dice that are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like you're only adding 60 damage at a time. And so like you're getting to the point where there's like 4, 5, 6 dice on one Pokemon.
That's too much.
And it's way too much. And so a company, I think TC Evolutions was the company that like first made these. It's not a novel concept or anything, but it's dice that will have like 1, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and then there'll be a dice with 70, 80, 90, 100, so on and so forth. And so it makes it a lot more manageable. So if you have a Pokemon with like 200 damage on it, you just take the dice that says 200 and you just go, and you're good to go. And so starting with Sword and Shield, the Elite Trainer boxes had these numbered dice in them. And so now I think these are going to include them. I know a product I'm going to talk about very soon is going to have them in there too. So there'll be a lot of ways to get these. So no need to fret, because you'll have plenty of them if you keep buying all these little boxes and stuff like that, which I do encourage you to do because these are cool. So the damage counters, 2 status markers for burn and poison, a coin, instruction booklet, a deck building guide, and a TCGO code card. So we don't know exactly what are in these yet. I'm hoping Japan made something very similar to this during XY, and I think they did one Sun and Moon too, where it was a box that just had a lot of staple cards in it. So it'll have like your good draw supporters, your good item cards, your good tools, some good stadiums, and stuff like that. So it'll just be a nice little kind of kit. I mean, it's called the Trainer's Toolkit. So at this point, I would hope so.
From what I'm like loosely gathering of it, it's kind of like an Elite Trainer Box Plus kind of.
Yeah, so like instead of just having packs, it has less packs, but it comes with, instead of like useless energy cards, it'll have a full thing of really good staple trainer cards to get people started. And
yeah,
a different product I'm going to be talking about did this sort of, and I always applauded it for it. But to have this just straight up like, here's this pack that is currently priceless. At least this article I'm looking at is priceless. I think there was a price of like $25 or something like that, $25, $30. It's just great. Like this is something that I've wanted for the game for a really long time now. So yeah, I'm just happy that this is finally something that is going to exist in America and not just Japan. Just kind of scooting along with product stuff. What I was talking about previously was the what were they called? Battle Arena decks, which always had a good amount of like staple Pokemon and staple trainers in them. They weren't the best. They still had a lot of fluff in them, but they were really good products for their price. And so now we're getting these league battle decks instead. And so we're getting one that features Pikachu and Zekrom GX, and Raichu and Alolan Raichu GX. And then we have one that features Reshiram and Charizard GX, and then Charizard and Brazen GX. So basically, it's a deck for two of the big tag team archetypes, Pikachu and Zekrom, and Reshiram and Charizard. Now these are going to come with a 60-card deck featuring that GX, a paper, I think it's a paper deck box. They usually are just cardboard deck boxes. The same burn and poison and GX markers I've gotten forever now. And then black and yellow damage counter dice and rolling coin flip die for the Pikachu and Zekrom set. And then a gray and orange colored set for the Charizard and Reshiram set. So really good. These are just the next evolution, to use a pun, of the Battle Arena decks. They just named them something different. Same concept as the previous ones, but really cool. Like I said, these were always good products to get for your staples. Like I said, they weren't perfect, but they're a good starting point, I think, for a lot of people getting into competitive to get a deck like this, because it usually has a lot of good stuff in it. So we have those. Zamazenta V and Zacian V are going to be featured in the next batch of tins that are coming out in May 22nd. Oh, and the League Battle decks come out May 22nd as well. So May 22nd is a big item drop date. The TCG does this a lot. They'll release 5 billion product at one time to bankrupt you. And so these are just reprints of Zacian V and Zamazenta V from the Sword and Shield set, which are great. Zamazenta isn't really seeing any play yet. I think it will in the future. It's just not big enough yet. But Zacian V is one of the most expensive cards in Sword and Shield, and that will definitely drop with the release of this $25 tin. But they look cool. There's some product images on PokeBeach. I dig them. I got the Rillaboom, Inteleon, and Scorbunny sets. Cinderace tins.
I mean, technically, right?
Technically, because the base starter is on the tin, but the tin comes with the V of the final evolution. So I'm not technically wrong. But I got those. Those are great. So they come with 5 packs and a TCGO card. Expect 2 out of those 5 packs to be absolutely worthless in standard format. Just something you gotta predict here. And then let me guess, is this going to be May 22nd as well? Oh no, this is June 5th. Throwing a curveball at me. So this is the Caparaja V pack box thing. Is it, I call it a box? I think it's a box. But
kind of like the low-key Toxtricity one that's out.
Oh
now.
yeah, no, it's exactly the same.
Okay.
So it will include a Caparaja V, which will be a reprint of the Caparaja V that is in Rebel Clash, but with new artwork, because Japan got a promo as part of their booster box promotion. So we'll be getting that artwork in this box, as well as a jumbo version of it, because wasting trees is great. And 4 booster packs, and expect one of those to be absolutely worth it.
It still baffles me, with the gimmick being like Dynamax and Gigantamax now. This is the perfect time for those giant cards to actually be useful.
I wrote a big article about it on PokeJungle a while back that I knew it was never going to happen due to just the logistics of trying to sell them, because they can't really make something as pivotal as a VMAX strictly be only available through these promotional boxes and not available in their booster packs. And so they would need to make the jumbo Pokemon available in the booster packs, which would take an entirely new design for the packs, an entirely new design for for the booster boxes. I just said that twice, I think. And just everything involved. And it would just take way too much to pull this off. Because like mentally, I'm thinking like the Transformers TCG, because they don't use jumbo cards, but they use oversized cards. And so I was thinking that when I initially posted this, I would love it to be just the big jumbo cards, just go Dynamax. But like I knew realistically,
run cards through a laminator to protect
right. I knew realistically speaking that wasn't going to happen. So then my brain jumped to the Transformers TCG. I'm like, they use big cards. That could be kind of cool. But again, like that game is designed from the ground up to have these big cards, so it's not a problem for them. But Pokemon is not. So
just do what Yu-Gi-Oh does and completely destroy the meta every time a new gimmick's involved.
Oh, absolutely. That is Yu-Gi-Oh's MO. I don't even keep up with Yu-Gi-Oh, and I know that. It's bad. But yeah, Cop Raja V is alright. The VMAX is pretty neat. I dig it, but we'll talk about that another time. So that is all of the box products. So every year we get a holiday set, as we kind of like to call them. So last year we got Hidden Fates. This featured all of the shiny Pokemon that everyone was really obsessed about for a while. The hype has since died down. But when it came out, it was like, oh, I got a Hidden Fates packs. Oh, they're so expensive. Oh, Charizard, $10,000. Yeah. But, yeah, so before that we had Shining Legends was the one before that, and then Hidden Fates. This time around we have... do we have a name for it? No, we don't. I don't think we do. Nope. I don't see one. So yeah, we have one. I don't know what it's called. But the first cards for it should be released on September 18th. And we'll get, it says on October 2nd, we'll be getting some sort of box collections. November 1st, we'll get a premium GX box. Information is subject to change. So basically what happened in Hidden Fates is we got like 80-something new cards, 60-something new cards. It was really small. And then we had like 100-something shiny vault or shining vault or something, and whatever they called them. And so those ones were all reprints, only some of which were playable, because they all kept their original set symbol. So if that set was rotated, you couldn't use it in standard, despite the fact that it just came out.
Lovely.
And it was kind of a mess. And they're kind of doing this again, but most of the cards released will still be playable, because they're mostly stuff from like tag team era, and that will stay in format for another year and a half or so. But so this will be comprised of basically the reprint cards and full arts, alternate arts, stuff like that, of the cards that we didn't get from Tag All-Stars, which was a reprint set in Japan. And so we got a couple of the new cards from that set, but we didn't get like full art Wishy-Washy GX. There was an alt art to Dene GX, full art of Deoxys Espeon, Trevenant Dust Noir, alt art of that, etc. And like some full arts of like Misty and Lorelei, new art of blue and green and red, Roxy, a male version of Welder because we needed that. Mina, Erica, I think this is Erica's something or another, I forgot. Will is here as well, and some hypers and gold versions of a bunch of the tag team cards, so we never got those. And so within all of the product for this next set, we'll be getting these, and it should also be comprised of cards that are in the upcoming Legendary Heartbeat set in Japan, which will be kind of like a movie tie-in set. So the first Zarude card will probably be in that set, as well as probably a Shining Celebi of some sort, and various other things that are kind of related to the movie. So, yeah, that'll come out in September, and we'll see what actually gets included and how they actually... I'm more interested in... This is a small tangent. I'm more interested in how they're going to handle it with the way that they mark the cards. Because now, starting with Sword and Shield, we have the letters at the bottom. Since Sun and Moon, Japan's been doing letter blocks. So, like, when we rotate sets, we usually rotate bases. So we had Sun and Moon, and then eventually we had Ultra Prism, and then we had like Tag Team or Tag Team Up. There we go. And so each of those are like base sets, and so we generally rotate through base sets. Eventually, sometimes we have to pluck them in the middle depending on release schedules and stuff. But so every block will get a new letter. So like Sun and Moon through, I think, roughly Crimson Invasion was when we rotated another set, was A block. And then like Crimson Invasion through Ultra Prism was B block. Ultra Prism through Team Up was C block. Nope, I did that wrong because Sword and Shield started D block. So you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so we finally adapted that with Sword and Shield, where we have the D block on our cards. So by the time we get to Sword and Shield, we'll stop rotating sets and we'll start rotating letters. So this allows stuff to get reprinted more frequently without it messing with the legality of cards. Because for the longest time, we had cards that are legal in America and other countries that basically aren't Japan, and that were not legal in Japan's meta because we reprinted it and they didn't. Or they reprinted it earlier, or they were in that letter block and the card was a card, and it was a card when it got reprinted in Japan. So when they rotated out A, it went away even if it got reprinted recently. And so now we're finally adapting that system, which I love because it allows for more frequent reprintings of things, which is always healthy for the game, especially with stuff like Dedenne GX and that kind of stuff that are staples. So with this set coming out, I'm curious if they're going to do the set symbol thing again like they did for Hidden Fates, because everything that we didn't get obviously is still from Sun and Moon era. So it's not going to have the letters, or if it does, it'll just look weird. So I don't know. That, like I said, that was a weird tangent from me, a little history lesson on how rotations work. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future, I suppose. But for now, enjoy those cards when they release in September, if they do. So yeah, speaking of, obviously with everything happening and everyone wanting to social distance, card tournaments are not the greatest thing in the world. Earlier, the European International Championships were canceled. Then shortly after, a couple of regionals were canceled. And then finally, Pokemon basically just straight up canceled all organized play through May 14th. And it could extend, obviously, should this pandemic continue, which I have the feeling it will, but that's neither here nor there, through May 14th. But at least until then, all premium level events, so we're talking league challenges, league cups, regionals, international championships. For the VGC, there's premier challenges, mid-season showdowns. Those are all canceled. The upcoming pre-releases for Rebel Clash, those are all canceled. Stores will still be able to sell the pre-release kits because they've already purchased them. But you can't run any actual events through Pokemon. If a card shop decides to reopen and do play, then I guess they could like organize something themselves. But to officially do something through Pokemon is canceled until May 14th. So yeah, that gave me a lot of free time because I had a League Cup scheduled. I had 2 League Challenges scheduled. I had 2 Premier Challenges scheduled and about 8 pre-release tournaments scheduled that are all now gone. So yeah, that's great. Now, and I understand I would have the store that I go to and run my events out of, they closed all play they remained open for retail on a call and pickup basis, but they had canceled all, like, they shut down their whole play area in the back a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. And so I wouldn't have been able to do my events anyway. But this is definitely the right call. I mean, a huge event, like, especially a huge event like regionals or internationals, are huge, and you just don't want that to happen during these times. And
Yeah.
so it was definitely the right call. It's a shame that, like, all this is going on, especially in a time where we usually get a ton of tournaments. Like, this is starting the ramp up of the tournament season, and now it's all gone. But we'll see what happens come May 14th. But for now, everything's online. One of my judges that I've been kind of training to take over for me, he with the card shop organized online play through TCGO. And so instead of our Monday night tournaments being in person, we're now running them through Discord and Pokemon Trading Card Game Online, and it worked really well the first night. So for those of you out there that are itching to play some Pokemon, look into TCGO. It's the best thing that we got right now. And with that, that's my big, long TCG rant. Thanks for listening. Buy cards.
Is there anything else that we're needing to cover at all?
If there is, I don't know about it. Or forgot about
Neither do I.
Or don't care. One of all the above.
Yeah. So I think with that, then it's time to move on to our first listener question.
Yes.
This is from a user named JC Hendricks, who, from what I understand, you're quite familiar with.
Yes. He has been following me around from show to show for quite a while.
And he writes in, "Hey guys, glad to see our God creating a Pokemon podcast."
Hello.
Also partially my idea, but okay.
That is true. I gotta give credit where credit's due. This is actually entirely your idea. So
Yeah.
No, it was. Don't you?
Yeah.
It was.
Hey, you made it possible, so.
I mean, yeah, it was still your idea, though.
Thank you. I love Pokemon and always love hearing Brian talk about it on Geek Each Week and the Streets, even if Chris uggs at it like the Streets cast during his Transformer rants, which I love too.
That's true.
Ever since I heard you on Victory Road, I've always thought you should do a Pokemon show. For the sake of discussion, what would you say was the Gen 8 Pokemon that really resonated with you the most? Mine was Flapple. I really need a plush and Moncale of him. Oh, and other guy. Give me a bit to learn your name. I'll get there. So until further notice, I am other guy.
Devin, the other guy.
Actually kind of tempted to change that to my middle name on Twitter.
Please do. That's actually funny to me.
Actually, while you answer that, I'm going to do
Perfect.
that right now.
So, I mean, like, when we first saw Yamper, I resonated with Yamper. I love all dog Pokemon because I love all dogs. And so, like, when I saw Yamper and it being electric type, electric's one of my favorite types. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. It's adorable. And then I saw Bolton. I'm like, oh, you're great. You're really kind of generic, but generic in just the way I like. And so, like, Yamper and Bolton were easy first resonance with me. But the one that I'm actually going to use as my answer to this is the one that resonated with me completely off guard is Phalanx. And I'm sure a lot of people know this because I talk about Phalanx all the time on Twitter. My icon on Facebook is still Phalanx. And it probably will be for quite a while. When we got the initial leaks and we just saw like the base 3D models, I'm like, oh, this is an ugly caterpillar thing. You look terrible.
Yeah, no, when I first, because I kept away from the leaks, but when I first like saw it walking around, I'm like, oh, that's weird. There's a caterpillar. Wait, why is it fighting type? And then like when you see it, it's like, oh,
and
you're just the best damn thing.
Yeah, because I still didn't know. And because like I looked at all the leaks, but I didn't see any like moving models I just saw pictures. And I'm like, okay, it's a fighting type caterpillar. That's weird. Okay. And then I ran into it, and my friend was over at the time, and so he'd attest to this. I ran into in battle, and like it split apart and showed its adorable face through the shields, and I fell in love. It was like, it went from, wow, I hate you, you're an ugly caterpillar, to, oh my god, you're 6 of the cutest things I've ever seen. And since then, like, I caught it, I used it throughout the rest of the game. It's still on my post-game team. I love it to pieces. It's great. I want Macaulay. I want plush. I want plush that have magnets in them, so you can connect them in a row, but also take them apart. I need it. Somebody make it, because I don't think Pokemon will.
Yeah, no, Phalanx was definitely like an insane breakout.
It was.
Of Pokemon. Like, I mean, hell, your hype for it is what influenced me to add them to my Sword team.
I'm glad I could be a positive influence.
Which, like, not to flex, but I still think that is some of the best work I've done with, like, a nickname for a Pokemon.
It's amazing. Your nickname is on point.
For context, in case, I don't think I've actually said it anywhere online, but for my Sword team, I decided to name my Phalanx troops as like an acronym. So T.R.O.O.P.S, which makes sense because they're like a little army, and then keeping with the fact they're based off kind of like Roman and Spartan kind of gladiator types. Each essentially Phalink, I guess is the singular term.
I guess so. Phalink with a K.
Yeah. So I named them in order from the front one to the back: Thanatos, Rhea, Orpheus, Oranos, Persephone, and Styx.
It's so good.
And they're my adorable group of sons and daughters.
I love them. It's so good. What a good Pokemon. I'm sorry, you can go now.
Want it on?
Go for it.
I would say for me, while there are a lot of Pokemon in this gen that are easily now in like the top like 15 to 20 for me, the one that just, in all accounts, just I love to pieces, it has to be Toxtricity. Like, just from the moment I first, like, because when I first saw Tox, I'm like, okay, you're kind of weird, but I like your typing. I wonder what you'll turn into. And then I got the amped Toxtricity first, and I was just like so blown away with him, like to the point where, because I'm usually of the mindset when it comes to making like teams for games, I don't like doing repeats on teams.
Yeah, no, I usually don't either.
Sword and Shield was the first one to break that, in the fact that my Shield team has a boy amp Toxtricity named Rebelectric, and for Sword, I have a female Loki named Poisanarchy.
Both amazing names, by the way.
Thank you.
But no, like, I think that's fair, because they're technically two forms. I mean, it's the same moveset and everything like that, but
no, they actually have
two different
movesets.
So, I mean, like, same like base moveset in terms of
yeah.
what it can learn. But
yeah, I think it's just like a few moves that swap back and forth or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. It's a great Pokemon. Like, it's the type combination is unique and good, and the design, both designs are great. The Gigantamax now is great. Like, there's so much to like about it.
Yeah, and then the fact that, like, at least not like vocally directly, there seems to be like a lot of history in the region with Toxtricity.
Yeah, I really wish they expanded on that, because like that hillside image is very clearly Gigantamax Toxtricity, and it's just something that just wasn't really ever brought up again after the fact, and I really hope it like gets expanded upon in the DLC in some fashion.
Yeah, because we have that, and then there's I can't remember the town name, but Nessa's town has like the statues of them in front of the lighthouse too. So it's like this interesting thing that like two towns that are right next to each other both interpret toxicity in like drastically different ways.
Right.
Yeah, no, and then like, because I tend to not do the battle tower kind of stuff for post game usually, because a lot of it's very like competitive centric kind of mindset, which I'm not skilled in. But when I found out, because my amp toxicity had plus for his ability, and then I discovered punk rock, and I'm like, well, you're not leaving my team for another toxicity. I'm going to grind up 50 battle points to get you an ability capsule so you can have the real ability.
I understand that.
And then like, yeah, just everything about toxicity, like, just I love it to death so much. Like,
and like I gotta hand it to James Turner for being the head designer on this game, because I mean I really liked a lot of Alola Pokemon, but Galar knocked it out of the park with these designs. Just
for sure,
solid designs all around. There's very few Pokemon in Galar that I look at and go, yeah, you're trash. And even the ones I don't like, I still think are good in their own way. I just don't. They just don't vibe with me. But
yeah, I think the most I'm kind of on certain designs when it is some of the Gigantamax forms are a bit goofy.
Yeah, like a lot of the Gigantamaxes I can kind of do with or without. Like, I love Gigantamax Snorlax because it's Snorlax, but it's still not that great of a design, if I'm being honest.
I think the one that threw me off guard the most was Gigantamax Caparajah.
Yeah, and I think Loxton just did a video on Caparajah that kind of explained it, I think, a little bit. I still don't like it, but
yeah, because it goes from like, okay, like quadruped boxy elephant, cool. And then it's just like, why are you standing on your back legs and look like a trapezoid?
Why are you a wall? More importantly, why is your scooper so big?
Also, like, small shout outs to Kingler for being like the Pokemon I don't think anyone in a million years would have picked to have a new like power up form.
That's correct.
But he just came like charging in on it, like, nah, I'm gonna turn into a horrifying like demon spider crab and get a beard.
Yeah, I love his beard. His beard is great. Everything else kind of freaks me out, but his bubble beard is fantastic.
The beard is what happens when you go cookie too hard.
I don't know what that was.
Magical.
Thank you. But yeah, like we could do a whole episode at some point gushing about Galar. I'm sure.
Which we probably
will, especially when the DLC comes out.
Oh, for sure. And one thing I think definitely we will do at some point later down the line is maybe at a point, maybe when we're in a slower news cycle, maybe do like a little multi-part series where we just kind of go over and talk about our experiences with each like generation, each episode.
Yeah, no, that'd be really fun.
Because I need more time to gush about Unova and Alola.
Yeah. And I another thing I'd love to do in future episodes is like a top 5, top 10, whatever it ends up being, like of each region.
Yes,
because those these are always concepts I really wanted to do on my YouTube channel that I just never got around to doing because like I don't have like the editing skills of all these like top PokeTubers. And so I'm like, well, why should I bother if it's just going to be me talking to a camera about a Pokemon? Like, I can much easier do this in writing, but no one really wants to sift through a written article much anymore. And so I'd love to kind of get those thoughts and ideas out in show episodes.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like that'll be a fun little mini series to do. Maybe we can make it where like at some point, once we get the ball rolling a bit more, maybe we'll do it where like each month we'll do one episode that's just devoted to a region, and then over time, we'll get through each region and just kind of talk about.
I like that idea.
Yeah, and we'll go over just why Pokemon's amazing.
Yeah, that's the point of the show. So
And if you have any questions for us at all, you can always shoot us an email at snoreandroarcast@gmail.com. That's SNOREANDROARCAST@gmail.com. We love hearing from you guys, and we love getting to get your perspectives on stuff and answer your questions.
Please send us emails. We like the discussion topics.
Yes.
Why I accented that, but it's getting on the later side. I'm getting loopy. That's what it is.
Yeah.
The best time to record podcasts.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and we'll hopefully see you a lot sooner between episodes than we have between these first two.
Yes, now that I am in work from home mode and I can stay up a little bit easier and all that fun stuff, it should be a lot easier to record episodes for the next foreseeable future while we're all stuck at home, except for you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Please be safe.
Like, not to just quote the meme of it all, but this has been the thing us antisocial people, public antisocial people, have been training for all our lives.
Oh yeah, the only thing that's been bothering me the most is not just casually going to 4 Targets in a day looking for toys. That part is getting to me, but the social aspect I'm fine with because all my friends are online mostly, and the ones that I do know in person I talk to online every day too. So it's I'm fine, I'm good. I just can't go to the store, which sucks.
And, as usual, like we said earlier, I want you guys to make sure you're staying safe, keeping yourself clean. Don't go out unless you absolutely have to, and just try and hang in there. We got all sorts of great stuff in Pokemon to help us get through all this.
Stay safe, everybody.
And we'll see you next time.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.